This is one of the most intense, over-the-top action games ever made. It has deep characters, insane sword fights, and boss battles that feels like you are inside an anime. But this isn't from an anime studio. It's Metal Gear Rising, baby. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance might be the most anime-feeling game ever made. Not because of how it looks, but because of how it feels. The pacing, the drama, the music, the boss fights. It all hits with the same intensity as your favorite anime. So today I want to break down why this game still holds up as one of the most unforgettable and chaotic game that I ever played.
Is a wake-up call to what I really believe, what I really am.
Now Raiden is the main character, and he doesn't just fight, he slices a giant mech mid-air in half while a heavy rock music shreds in the background. That's not gameplay, that's a full-blown anime intro in motion. It starts off quite composed, almost too calm, but every mission, every boss encounter slowly peels that layer away, and by the time you're facing off against Monsoon, Raiden is being forced to confront more than just enemies. He's dealing with his past, his identity, his darker side. Then you hit the Ripper mode, and suddenly it's not about saving people or doing the right thing. It's about survival. It's raw emotion transformed into gameplay.
I think it's time for Jack to let her rip.
In anime, power isn't just strength, it's identity, and Raiden embracing his inner Jack the Ripper, that's his transformation moment, just like Gear 5 for Luffy and Super Saiyan for Goku. Every boss fight in this game is like its own final episode. You get the build-up, philosophy, and a cinematic payoff. Jetstream Sam, he's not just a rival, he's a wandering swordsman with his own code. The duel with him feels more like a classic Samurai Champloo showdown than a typical boss fight. Then you have Sundowner, pure chaos, explosive mind games, and a grin that says I'm here to make your day worse. And finally, Armstrong, a boss so ridiculous, so intense, he becomes a meme icon.
Nanomachine, son!
Talks about power, control, freedom, and then throws a punch that creates a fucking crater. And don't even tell me about the music. It doesn't just set the tone, it mirrors what the player is feeling. Lyrics echo Raiden's journey mid-battle. It's emotional storytelling through sound. What really gives MGR its own anime energy isn't just the action, it's the theme. The game digs into ideas like identity, justice, and what it means to be human in a world run by war. Raiden isn't a classic hero, he's a soldier shaped by trauma. He's trying to figure out who he still is, while still surviving fights after fights after fights. Even a side character like Blade Wolf wrestles with the idea of free will and purpose. And then you have villains like Monsoon, who drop the entire philosophical essay mid-battle. Now most action games separate story and gameplay, but Metal Gear Rising blends the two so smoothly that you barely notice the switch. 1 second you're watching a cinematic, the next you are in control, and the transition is so slick, it keeps the energy alive non-stop. Even the way the camera moves, the animation, the slow motion blade slices, everything feels like you're playing through a high-budget anime film. And those boss finishes, every single one feels like the final shot of a shonen episode. There are other games inspired by anime out there, Devil May Cry has its own style, Bayonetta has the flair, Final Fantasy VII the emotion, Sekiro is basically playing a samurai anime, but Metal Gear Rising puts all of that together with a rock-hard soundtrack and a sword combat that makes you feel like a god. It's not trying to imitate anime, it's speaking the same language. MGR came out over a decade ago and yet it still holds up in every way that matters. It didn't chase the realism, it chased the style, it chased the impact. It understood that players don't want challenge, they want to feel something, they want to make it timeless, they want to make it unforgettable. And in a world where games are getting more and more serious, Metal Gear Rising is a reminder that chaos, energy and emotion still matters. So if you missed it or thought it was just another spin-off, give it a shot. Slicing through a tank in slow motion while rules of nature blast in your headphones. And tell me it didn't change you. And if you love recommendations like these, hit that subscribe button, keep the notification on because I'm going to make more content. This is Wade signing out.